always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life. Hey, hey. How
Hello.
are you, girl?
I am good. I am good. What's going on that side?
Uh, well, nothing
Oh,
much.
wow. Look at
Nothing
that.
much. I'm still repairing myself, but other than that, life is good. How are you?
I'm good as well. Good as well.
Yeah, we're up here in Canada doing our thing. Not getting the snow yet, but you know, we know it's
That's a
coming.
good thing, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so we are live here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Remember to subscribe and to like or comment. You can join us in the chat. We love to hear your comments and what you have to say. Tonight's show is about human trafficking. I'm here, Hillary, here in Ontario, Canada, and Teresa.
Um, I'm Teresa, like Hillary said, Teresa in
Teresa.
Barbados.
Okay, so
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
let's get into it, Teresa. We're going to talk about human trafficking. It is a very,
Mhm.
I am very much so advocate for, you know, dealing with human trafficking. I have had a personal experience where I had to help a victim. Someone was being taken. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the show. But right now, we're going to talk about what is human trafficking, and we're going to go from there, go through what to look for, as well as, the different kind of stories in USA, Canada, and
Mhm.
Barbados. And human trafficking is around the world. 24.9 million people are being trafficked. So it's a worldwide issue. It's not just for
Mhm.
Barbados, USA, and Canada. Okay. So,
Mhm.
Teresa, let's get into it. What
Yes.
is human
And
trafficking?
just adding a bit to your intro,
Mm-hmm.
which will help me with my opening on what is human trafficking. In
Mm-hmm.
your intro, you mentioned the word taken, and
Mm-hmm.
there is a picture can't remember what year it came, okay, but it's some picture in, I think it's 2015 or so,
Mm-hmm.
nevertheless, called Taken. If you want a brief description of what human trafficking is, you can watch that picture Taken, part one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now on with it. What is human trafficking? Human trafficking involves any force, fraud, or coercion to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act. And every year, millions of men, women, children are trafficked, like Hillary said, worldwide. It's not just a USA, Canada, Barbados thing. This thing happens worldwide, including um, in the same USA, Canada that we're speaking about. So it is something that happens within our communities, and victims can be of any age, any gender, any nationality, any race. It doesn't pick out certain people. So human trafficking is something that exists, and it's among a lot of us. And you might use the following methods to lure victims into trafficking situations like violence, threats, manipulation, false promises of a well-paying job,
Go
and
on.
feedback,
Yes, feedback.
romantic relationships. All those are ways you can lure victims into trafficking situations. So language barriers, fears of the trafficking, and or fears of law enforcement frequently keep victims from seeking help. Human trafficking is a hidden crime, right? So traffickers look for people who are easy targets for various reasons. It can be emotional vulnerability, it can be economic hardship, lack of social safety net. What is wrong with my tongue when I come on?
It's
Oh,
okay. It's okay.
natural disasters could be another one.
Mm-hmm.
Political instability.
Yes.
The trauma caused by the traffickers can be so great that many many people may not identify themselves as a victim
Mm-hmm.
or ask for help, even in highly public settings. There's some misconceptions that exist, but regardless of how you recognize the key indicators of human trafficking, the first step is to identify your victim, and get help to save a life. Okay? Not all indicators listed are present in every human trafficking situation, and the presence or absence of any of these indicators is not necessarily proof of human trafficking. Okay? The safety of the public as well as the victim is important. So please, please, please do not attempt to confront a suspected trafficker directly or alert a victim to any suspicions. It is up to law enforcement for you to investigate any suspected cases of human trafficking. You can visit different links to have more information about human trafficking and how you can protect yourself and others. So human trafficking is basically forced labor. What else?
Yeah, it can labor for
Forced
either labor or for sex.
labor
Yep.
or sex commercially. So those are things that get involved. Coercion to obtain some types of labor. That's it. Coercion to obtain some types of labor or commercial sex act.
Okay.
And
Now, what?
that's it on human trafficking.
Okay.
What
It
is.
is. Yeah, what it is. And it's so subtle too sometimes that you don't even know that it is happening. There are some signs that you can look for when it comes to human trafficking and what do I see? What am I seeing? So I'm going to go through a couple of tips here. And again, if you're experiencing any emergency, please call 911. I think in Barbados it's 211.
It's 211, yeah.
Right. And to report a tip or suspected of sex trafficking, there are hotlines that we will give you throughout the show. For pimps and traffickers that often exhibit the following behaviors and characteristics. And again, these are characteristics and behavior, not necessarily you're going to see, but this is a start. Maybe you saw something or heard something. Jealousy, controlling over the victim, or violence towards them, significant older male or female, and the much younger companion that is not their relative. But sometimes, unfortunately, the relatives do also traffic the person. Promise things. If you're overhearing a conversation where the person is promising something that's too good to be true, or encouraging the victim to engage in illegal activities to achieve their goals and dreams. Buying expensive gifts or even own expensive items. You see a child owning something that that economically your parents cannot afford, or person, that is, because it can happen to adults. And I want to make this clear. Human trafficking is not only children or females. It also involves young boys and older men as well. If vague, or if the person has a profession and really can't tell you what the profession is, pushy or demanding about sex, encouraging inappropriate sexual behavior, or even make the victim feel responsible for their financial stability. They're very open about their financial matters, a little bit too much, flashy. Warning signs that individual may be a person that's being trafficked. Physical abuse, again, it burns, or cuts, abrasions, bruises that are unexplainable. Unexplainable absences from the classroom, for example, for young children. Sexualized behavior where the person became more provocative than before. I always say patterns, because you learn people's patterns, and especially if you're around a certain person all the time, you learn their pattern. And if the pattern changes dramatically, there's something that made it change. So ask questions. You can ask. Just don't push or be demanding. Overly tired in the classroom, for example, is a good one. Withdrawn, depressed, distracted, or checked out. Always checking with your girlfriends. I always say checking on your sisters. Brags about making or having a lot of money. Less appropriate dress than before, and new expensive clothing, accessories and shoes. New tattoos, and the tattoos that are used by pimps in the way that brands the victims. So tattoos of names, symbols of money, and barcodes could indicate trafficking. Okay, again, I'll say that one more time. Tattoos of names, symbols of money, or barcodes could indicate trafficking. Older boyfriend or friends with a different lifestyle, that you see again dramatic change in who they hang out with. Talking about wild parties or invite others, students to attend parties, and then show signs of gang affiliation, colors, notebooks,
Mm-hmm.
duos, or do-rags, or band gang symbols. So those are some things that you can look for. And, unfortunately, we have in North America a high runaway status and statistics. And unfortunately, a lot of those kids, over 100,000 of those kids, will end up in human trafficking. Again, as I said at the beginning of the show, 24.9 million people are being trafficked around the world. And this is a world issue, not a Canadian, American, or Barbadian issue. We're just going to talk about those three particular areas because we're familiar with those countries. So let's go on to talk about some situations that we've come across or some stories that we know about in the U.S., Canada, or Barbados. Teresa, you want to talk about Barbados a little bit?
In Barbados, I think recently, as in for March, they had formed, you call it a campaign. They had launched a campaign in Barbados for trafficking persons, and there are a number of organizations like the U.S. Embassy for one, the Eastern Caribbean, and the Organization of Caribbean States. Who else? The Deputy President, the Deputy Resident Representative of that's UNDP. They too have joined on this same campaign to help combat such. Then they also have a jingle. I can't remember how the jingle goes, but one of our popular Calypsonians have a jingle in terms of the whole human trafficking. But they are making leadway to help stamp it out among the Caribbean countries, islands. So that is one step in that direction to help sensitize everyone about it, because we think that in the Caribbean, because we don't see it as we don't see we have such here. Because like the same picture that we were speaking about earlier, we see people getting snatched in that picture. How the lady was lured into sharing a cab to get to where she was going because she's in a foreign country. Here, we don't really have that per se. Or no, I shouldn't say we don't have that. We don't. It's not on a broad scale. But when I find out when you start to do research on stuff, then you come to realize, well, hey, I didn't even know there was a campaign to help reduce human trafficking.
Hi, Rudy. How you doing? He just said good night to us.
Hi, Rudy.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
So we don't even know that it's happening here. So some of the other things that I researched and found was within some shopping areas, when I think this was happening. This happened mid of the year, June or so, yeah. And we have two malls here, Sheraton and Sky Mall. Persons were handing out information. The National Task Force Against Trafficking. They were handing out information to purpose to sensitize us about what to look for. Some of the points that Hillary mentioned earlier, what to look for, and letting us know some of the things that some of the persons that are likely targeted when it comes to human trafficking. Because little children, and I think they're doing a lot of skits and stuff in school where little children, let's say little children, I mean children like 8, 9, 10, are in what we call primary school here, which is between 5 to 10 years old. They're started sensitizing children and by doing skits and stuff in school about when someone try to lure you to give you something, or say, well, your mom told me to collect you, or your parents said to collect you from school, or take you to this particular after school event. And
Right.
some children without thinking, because some persons that come to grab children are persons that children are familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
They might be familiar with them from visiting their homes or from just seeing them in the neighborhood.
Right.
And you know, with kids, once you have a familiar face, you may think that that person is friendly.
Right.
So they started sensitizing children within schools. I think one of the persons that deals with the sex crime and human trafficking unit in Barbados is Veronica Shepherd Whitney.
Right.
She's one of the persons that is part of that program. So any conversations you need, whether you see something or you're not sure about a situation, that is one of the persons you can call. She's a station sergeant in charge of sex crimes and human trafficking. So once you call the numbers, and we mentioned the numbers, the specific numbers, because 211 is our hotline number, like you have 911, which is the general number for the US and Canada.
Okay.
211 is our police contact number, but there's also a specific number that you can call, which is directly to the same lady, sergeant, station sergeant.
We'll give that number later in the show as well.
Yeah, we give those at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So that's it from my end in terms of Barbados and some of the incidents that likely to occur and some of the stuff that we are doing to sensitize the public.
Yeah, Rudy, I know where you work, and do you have any incidents or anything you witnessed where in regards to human trafficking? Drop it in the chat and I'll read it out. When it comes to the US side, they have the domestic trafficking hotlines. That number is 1-888-373-788. And in Canada, it's the Royalmountainpolice or the Canadian Human Trafficking, and that's 1-833-900-1010. You can always call 911 in either country. And, you know, Canada has one of the highest human trafficking in North America for certain areas here in, sorry, that's me making a boo-boo. And here in Canada, a particular area, I don't want to advertise what the area is, but there's a particular area in Toronto that is known for human trafficking. It does look very high end, and a lot of people wouldn't even associate that area with human trafficking because it's a lot of condos in that area. And that's another thing, is the condos are a good way of where they do a lot of hiding of trafficking and a lot of escort service and you know, the sex trade and etc. But that's one of the things here. I had a situation, as I said, that happened years ago where a co-worker and I, you know, the little girl just looks weird. It didn't look right. You know, although it was a little girl, and you know, that was they were taking on the grandfather role. It just didn't look right. It was just very weird. So the little girl was wanting to go to the restroom, and I volunteered to to go with her to the restroom.
Sister.
Yeah, I was just kind of, it was just really strange, and it was the fact that they didn't want her to go to the restroom that kind of alarmed me. So I asked her if she was okay, and she said no. And I said, "Is that your grandparents?" And she said no. And I was like, "Okay, you're not good. This is not going to be good." So I came back out. I told my co-worker, and myself and him kind of, went into action in regards to trying to get this child protection. And it's not always good to get involved, but in this situation, we knew that we had a little bit more. We had a little bit more training for this, and myself and him were able to get the child away from the two elderly people. I mean, they fought us physically, and police did get involved, and the child was taken to in the possession of the police, and then the two adults, elderly adults, and when I say elderly, I'm talking about they look like they were in the 70s and 80s, girl. So it doesn't have to have a look.
So
yes,
they have to be in the business long.
Yeah, it doesn't have to have a look. And the thing is, because it was very cultural for the behavior to be that way, I wouldn't have it suspected it unless it was the whole bathroom thing, not wanting her to go to the restroom. Like, why would you not want her to go to the restroom when she was going on a long trip? It didn't make any sense to me, and just the behavior, and then her allowing me to take her to the restroom, and then the way she
The
was
stranger.
it was just strange. It was just the whole thing was just weird. Rudy was saying, we always are on the lookout for strange behavior from kids, even adults that might seem strange, and that's true, Rudy. And that whole thing just was really weird. I walked away from that interaction just mind blown. I came home and hugged my kids. I was just mind blown as to
So
how
simple.
simple. Not only she got true security, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got true security with that kid and everything, and I was just mind blown. I was really, really seriously mind blown as to how simple it was for her to
Mm-hmm.
get from where they were to where they ended up, and through police, through security, through like the steps that they went to get through. They were about to get on, to leave the country.
Or the plane to leave.
Yeah. So
Wow.
my whole thing is, it is that easy to get
Mm-hmm.
by people, and that's why a lot of people don't realize that a person is being trafficked. But as I read out the signs earlier,
One of the things too, because there were aged, there were old people,
hmm
as you say, elderly people.
exactly. And I've
Person might
had
not think that
you wouldn't think
that's
it.
what they
You
were
would.
doing.
I honestly thought that was the grandparents because they look old, and she was 9 years old. So I wouldn't have suspected
Wow.
anything. And then we had a situation when I had a situation where I was walking in Toronto. I was new to Toronto. I was coming back from the States, and I was new to Toronto, and I was walking on the street, and this guy, he pulled up his car onto the sidewalk, opened the door. So when he opened the door, I was between the door and him. Okay, and he's
Oh, you
like,
were walking?
I was walking, minding my business, had my headphones on. Ladies, one earplug. It's one, because that's what kind of got, because I heard something, but I wasn't sure what it was. So by the time it was quick, because the time I turned around, I was already between the door holding me and him, right? And then
So just a talk and you be in the car.
yeah, well, I was literally in the car. Like, all he had to do was pull. Yeah, as you said, pull me, and that
Mm-hmm.
that was it.
Just pulled you when
But
you were in the car.
I knew some training, and I kind of defended myself. But then someone else that I knew also, he jumped off the second floor. He came and came and tried, but the guy, he pulled off, and he's like, he what he said to me was, "You're gonna marry me." That's basically what he said. And then, yeah, the fight started, and he was grabbing me, and I'm trying to pull away, and then the person came, and and
Assisted.
oh yeah, I let me tell you something. You got to watch yourself out there. You really do.
As simple as that
It's
is.
as simple as that, and this is the thing. I know we have situations in DR, in Dominican Republic, where kids are being
Mm-hmm.
taken from Haiti and being brought over there, or vice versa, to work in the cane fields. A lot of labor for that one. There is a documentary on that where they have like 9-year-old kids that haven't seen their parents, and then they have some kids that are now like teenagers, and they hadn't seen their parents since they're like 5 years old. So I saw one article that you had, or Barbados, when they were talking about there were particular places that you normally traffic for sex and labor from Barbados, like to Barbados. I think it was Guyana, Venezuela, Jamaica. What was the other one? Dominican Republic, and there was one other one that
Another Spanish speaking country.
I think it was coast. I can't say no, Panama. Yeah, no, sorry,
Uh-huh.
Cuba. It was Cuba, and so those countries are known for a lot of trafficking. In Barbados, when it comes to sex trafficking, or escort service, and some also labor as well. So again, this is a world issue. It's not a particular culture or sex only. It's labor, it's sex, it's elderly, it's children, it's boy,
Mhm.
girl, man, child, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's money for them. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Okay. So Teresa, you want to talk? You want to give that number for Barbados?
Yes, the number for well, basically our hotline number, like how y'all guys have 911 is 211,
Mm-hmm.
but the trafficking number, which we call the Sex Crime and Human Trafficking Unit of the Barbados Police Service, is 430-7332
Mm-hmm.
or 33. That's 430-7332 or 33. That's the sex crimes and human trafficking number, or you can call the crisis hotline, which is 435-8222, 435-8222, or 287-9344. Or you can email sex crimes, crimes with an S, sex crimes and trafficking at rbpf.gov.bb.
And then also to I'm gonna repeat the American one. That is the domestic trafficking hotline for the U.S. Department of State. Number is 1-888-373-788. That number again is 1-888-373-7888. If you see something, be safe first. Witnessing is sometimes more important than being interacting. I was trained, and that's
Involved,
why I
yeah.
was able to interact at that level. But please, if you see something, be a witness. Being a witness is more than enough, and call 911 if you don't have that number. For Canada, it is 1-833-900-1010. The number again is 1-833-900-1010. And of course, 911 works well. Also, 211 here in Canada as well. And, you know,
I think one of the things we're gonna do, we're gonna drop the hotline numbers
yeah,
and the
yeah,
email, the contact information,
yeah. And then
in our pockets.
yeah, and then on the if you go into the websites, Canadian Royal Mountain Police or the Department of State in the U.S., if you go on their website, you can also give an anonymous tip as well online. If you're
Mhm.
nervous about making a phone call, you can always go online to their website. For RCMP is www.rcmp-gr.gc.ca, and look for the human trafficking tab, and then go on there and just click on submit an anonymous tip. For the U.S. Department, it is www.state.gov.com, and then again you look for the domestic trafficking hotline on there, and then you can go on there,
Mhm.
and there is a link. For Barbados, is there a website?
Um, I'm not sure of their website, but I know they have the email address
Oh,
on
okay.
that one.
Yeah, you can give the email address.
The email address is sexcrimes at trafficking at rbpf.gov.bb.
Oh, okay.
You can go on that, and anything that you see or seems suspicious to you, you can drop them some information and with your contact details in there, give a brief description of what you saw. Or you can call the number, which again is 435-8222 or 287-9344. That is the crisis hotline number for the Sex Crimes and Human Trafficking Unit of the Barbados Police Service. That number is 430-7332 or 7333. 430-7332 or 7333.
Okay. So we're going to take a little break here, and we come back. And then when we come back, we'll talk about what to do when you see it, and then how to get involved as well, because they do need a lot of help. It is a huge problem. Again, 24.9 million people are being trafficked worldwide, human trafficked. There goes that YouTube thing, the Zoom. We're getting our things going every week. We're making a new progress here. But anyways,
And we must say thank you to the new subscribers.
yes, thank you to all the new subscribers for everything. You guys are pushing our numbers up. We're almost at that 100, so we can start doing some real things here on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Mr. T-shirt. Mr. T-shirt, you gotta check him out on YouTube. He really came in, and he's a YouTube influencer. He came in and he really helped
Oh
us with some
yes.
information and sat with us and had a little meeting. So thank you so much, Mr. T-shirt. Check out Mr. T-shirt on his YouTube channel. Great T-shirts in New York City. I mean, he's actually doing the T-shirts
Also
for the
on
Eiffel
Instagram.
family reunion in Barbados for 2023. His T-shirts are amazing. A lot of his tips on his line are very amazing. He has over 11,000 subscribers. Check him out again, Mr. T-shirt on YouTube. We'll be right back with a little bit more of some hot tea, and when we come back, we will let you know what to do.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big swings, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, and go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took a red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but I'm supposed to feel.
All right, I'm getting better.
Welcome back, Hillary.
Ah, I think I'm getting better. I think I'm getting better, Teresa. Or are you gonna keep that
Mhm.
comment to yourself? I try. I try. Okay, so we're back with some more hot tea. T, you want to take it away from here in regards to what to do and when you see
The
a victim?
20 ways you can
No,
help
the other
fight
one.
human trafficking.
No, the other one on your phone. What to do if you see someone being trafficked. So if you suspect someone who is a victim of trafficking, contact your local.
Yes. First,
Yeah.
consult your local law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
I know some of us might be eager to jump in, especially if it's children or someone elderly, but you don't know who else is lurking around, watching what's going on. Basically, who else is on for the defense of the person that you receive carrying out the act. So the best thing to do, make use of your phones, make contact with law enforcement. Tell them where you're give them your exact information. Let them know
Mm-hmm.
where you're located and what's happening so that they can get going and assist the person and follow your leads. The next one is don't take any perceived risk, like you said, and try to intervene in a situation that it can end up being very violent.
Mm-hmm.
If
Very.
you approach the victim, always choose the right time and place to have a full discussion.
I want to go back to that
So
second
you
point
know,
about not taking risks. Just remember that for human trafficking, for some of these people, this is a multi-million dollar business for
mhm,
them. And
and you're
so,
basically stepping into
yeah, if
them
you're
making the
stepping
money.
into if you're stepping in to do anything, you're messing with their money. That's how they see it. Unfortunately, they don't care
Mm-hmm.
about human lives. They care about their life and that money and their properties and commodity to them. So please, please, please do not risk your life. It's better for everyone involved if you can just call 911, take a picture,
211.
to our 211 in Barbados.
Mhm.
Take a picture, record the license plate, description of the car, what the person looks like. Being a witness and having that kind of information is so vital to the police officers, and so that will be even a better action than actually physically getting involved, because sometimes these kids or people or adults, they've been brainwashed so much that they might even fight you. So be careful, be safe. Go on, Teresa.
Mhm. Okay, if you approach the victim, like I was saying, if you approach the victim, always choose the right time and place to have a full discussion
Mm-hmm.
so that you and the victim, you both are safe. Establish a rapport with the victim. He or she may be taught to distrust outsiders, like the Hillary in the scenario earlier of the little girl. She stepped in and she started talking to the child, and offered help. Then she found out what was really going on, and they took it from there and had the little girl go to safety. And the grandma and grandpa assumed grandma and grandpa got arrested or, well, taken into custody.
Physically.
Excellent.
They were fighters, man. I could swear, I was like, yo, grandparents could fight. Yeah, man. Because as I say, it's money, right? It's money for them. So,
Yep.
yeah, they were fighting.
Be aware and understand. Be aware and understanding of symptoms of trauma. As traffickers and traffic victims have likely, oh gosh, the screen, as likely as traumatic experience such as violence, isolation, persistence, fear, and manipulation.
Yeah,
Symptoms of
psychologically,
trauma.
yeah, psychological manipulation, yeah, definitely.
Symptoms of trauma may include memory loss, irritability. Hillary, what is going on?
Irritability.
Yeah, irritability.
It's Saturday.
Depression, hypervigilance, and antisocial behaviors.
Mm.
And all this is because of the trauma that they are going through or that would have gone through.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Imagine a child, for example, being trafficked for sex and, you know, being told that if you leave this particular area, I'm going to kill your parents, you know, or I'm going to kill you, you know, and having that child and being in that situation for a year, 2, 10 years, they believe it, you know. Children, you know, people, as they say, do not develop the common sense part of their brain until 25. And even after that, you know, continuous of one is called conditioning. Continuous, one action for a stimuli. After a while, you to yourself, we're all conditioned, right? We're all conditioned. We see certain labels and we're like, oh yeah, I want that. You don't even know why you want it. You want it because you were conditioned to have it. And so the same thing happens in manipulation, psychological manipulation, where that person is being conditioned that this, I am fair. And anything that you don't do that I say, you're going to be punished for it, or something bad is going to happen. So, yeah, again, I'm going to say over and over again, all through the show, please do not get physically involved in a situation where you can put yourself or others at harm. Be a witness, call 911, call one of the hotlines, and describe. Go on.
Ask any questions that are necessary to provide assistance. Focus on determining what the person's immediate needs are. For example, if they want food, water, medical care, shelter, a phone call. And if possible, enlist the help of someone who speaks the person's language and understands their culture. If available, trained translators are the best options. Any experience in that with that from that sentence, Hillary?
Say it one more time. Sorry, I was posting. Go on.
And enlist the help of someone who speaks the person's language,
yeah,
or understands the culture.
So, for example, the situation where I was in, you know, the kid did speak a little bit of English, but that was not the main language. So maybe if you see something where you think it's safe to intervene, and that person doesn't, you think that person doesn't speak that language, and someone nearby, you know, enlist them, ask them, you know, for help, in a situation where the person has come to you now and you're not understanding. Maybe you can reach out to some person that have that language. You can always call 911, 211. Again, they do have interpreters on hand for that kind of information. Again, those are the best options, is to get the authorities involved. They do have experts, they do have translators, they have counselors, psychologists, all of that on hand for these victims. And most victims think that they're going to get in trouble, that something bad is going to happen to them, they're going to go to jail or whatever. So again, yes, if trained translators, that's normally for the police or hotline. So if, for example, like say you're working a hotline, you're volunteering, and that person is calling and doesn't speak the language, find the person in the room that does, right? Yeah, go on.
Okay, when you're like Hillary is saying, when you're providing the support service, provide the option of a female or a male staff member whenever it's possible. And I think that is important there because
Mm-hmm.
depending on the situation that he or she has been through, they may not want they may not want the person that well, okay. If it's a female that caused the trauma,
Yeah.
to have a female staff member, although like say with the immigration, if a female staff member comes to that person's aid,
Mm-hmm.
they might be resentful because a female is the person that did whatever happened to them.
Yeah. And that's true. Like, it could be that the opposite sex or same sex has violated the person. And so they are a little bit more intimidated by that person being present or even questioning them. So that intimidation could happen. Or again, the person could be triggered. The behavior triggered. It could be anything. So it's very, very, you got to be very cautious in regards to when it comes to the approach or even support. And I think that sentence also talk about when they come home and you know that person is looking for support, they might reject you and don't feel any kind of way. And we have to be very careful with that, because when they come home, they're coming home because they've had so much trauma, and you don't know what exactly 100% would happen, because sometimes some of people that have been trafficked would not talk about it. I'll, I don't know the recovery. I wanted to find the recovery amount of people that do get taken and how many are returned, but I wasn't able to find an exact number for worldwide. But it is something where it has to happen in the moment. When you see it happening, make that call. Don't be afraid about, oh, and I don't want to get involved or whatever. You don't even have to say your name. Just give the description, say what you see, and let the police take it from there. You have done you've done a great job there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Witnessing is just as much and even more important than getting them physically involved, because again, as I said, the person being brainwashed, they might even fight you. And then also too, these people are making millions and millions of dollars off of this trade, or so-called trade, and that they will hurt you or possibly kill you. So it's best to get the authorities involved and call 911 or your local hotline.
Yeah, I just did a little bit of research there. They said it was recovery statistics for human trafficking is staggering. But 1 to 2% of child trafficking victims are recovered.
Wow. Say that one more time. 1 to 2%?
1 to 2% of child trafficking victims are recovered.
And that's why it's so important that when you see it happening, you get on that phone, get off of Facebook and YouTube and wherever you are, and you get involved and you call the police right away, and you give description, you give everything, the license plate, color of the car, what the person looks like, they dress, what direction they went in. Get involved that way. That is so, so, so very important. I can't say it enough.
Okay,
that's a lot. 1 to 2%, Teresa.
Yeah, 1 to 2%.
Wow.
And that's what they talk about the children trafficking. They haven't given me any statistics on adults trafficking.
Yeah, and this is the thing. When it comes to adults trafficking, I mean, we think that, it's the sex trade, and they saw an ad and they went and to the ad, and then it ended up being a situation. It could be simple. It could be less than that. Okay. There is one where I heard about where people from Asia, for example, were paying to come over to North America illegally, and being told that they can get them into the country. And then when they get here, they've paid to get here. The person says, okay, now you got to pay off that debt. that you owe me for getting you here
Oh
in
yes,
another way. It could be labor, it's mainly labor, or it could be sex, it could be
and
whatever they
sex.
choose. And that debt will never be paid off because they have no, they're not interested in letting you go. That
Mhm.
you're their property, and this is the modern day slavery, and uh, the the crazy thing is that sometimes we get, we have that sense of, hi, baby Eiffel just came online. Hi, baby Eiffel. We
Hi.
get that sense of something is wrong and we look away. We have that habit of looking away. We got to start, realizing that every single person that is around you is your neighbor. And we got to get involved and not think that it's not me and I don't want to be doing. No one is actually around there and do anything other than pick up the phone. Okay. So again, pick up that telephone, make that call. Teresa, what is the call the number in Barbados? One more time.
The hotline number for the crisis hotline is 435-8222 or 287-9344. The actual sex crimes and human trafficking number is 430-7332 or 7333.
And
Or you can call 211,
right.
which is much easier.
Yeah, exactly. And then for the U.S., it is the U.S. Department of State Domestic Trafficking Hotline, and it's 1-888-373-7888. Again, that number is 1-888-373-7888, and you can call 911 as well. For Canada, Mountain Royal Police, we all know who that is here in Canada, or the Canadian Human Trafficking Hotline. Both numbers are the same. 1-833-900-1010. That's 1-833-900-11010. And again, you can go on their website. You can drop an anonymous tip. You don't have to give your name. Even when you call in, you don't have to give your name or anything like that. They just want to know the location because they're not asking because they're trying to come to you. They're asking because they want to know where it happened at. And, you can also help out. We're going to go through a little bit very quickly of how you can help. Teresa, that's the 20.
20 ways that
Yeah.
you can help.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the United States and believe someone is a victim, the National Human Trafficking Hotline that Hillary just mentioned, the 1-888-373. Okay, 1-888-3737-888. That's the easy way to remember it.
Yeah.
1-888-3737-888. They learn the indicators of human trafficking, and you can find that on the tip information office website. And you can also take training in that. So the training will help you be aware of individuals, business persons, first responders, help you to be aware of the situation. If you see something, be conscientious and informed consumers. That's one.
So, for example, you see,
volunteer
like,
and
the
support.
farms, the
Right?
farms, like the farms. If you see,
Oh yes.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, people picking tomatoes and making your clothes and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those kind of companies and make sure that you can tell what the person is being trafficked, like especially if it's a young person. Baby Eiffel said, "I saw some finger signal on TikTok. And is that valid?" What? I saw some
So
finger
what?
signal on TikTok. Is that valid? What do you mean by that, baby Eiffel? I'm not sure what you're talking
To
about.
me, in terms of markings, because
Is,
earlier we were talking about some persons have tattoos. That's how you can
are you talking about
indicate
the are you talking
everything.
about, is that what you're talking about?
Indicators.
Is that what you're talking about, baby Eiffel, about a signal like that, a finger signal on TikTok? Let me know. So yeah, so when it comes to those farms, some a lot of the farm programs are really great, and they are
Mm-hmm.
they are legitimate, but they have some that aren't, and you have to be very careful and mindful of that when you go to visit. Baby Eiffel said it's for people who are in trouble and need help. Okay, so a finger signal. Okay, thank you so much for that.
Oh, okay,
Thank you so
okay.
much for that. Yeah. Go on,
Volunteers in
Teresa.
support of anti-trafficking efforts in your community.
Mm-hmm.
Meet with your local, state, and federal elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
Be well informed. Set up a web alert to receive current human trafficking news. And also check out the CNN Freedom Project for more stories on the different forms of human trafficking around the world. Host an awareness raising event to watch and discuss films about human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
Organize a fundraiser and donate the proceeds to anti-trafficking organizations. That's a good one.
Yep.
And encourage local schools. I like this one. Encourage local schools and the school district to include human trafficking in their curricula. This will help develop the protocols for identifying and reporting of suspected cases of human trafficking and responding to potential victims. Use social media platforms to raise awareness about human trafficking. This is what we are doing here.
Yep.
Using different hashtags, freedom first, end trafficking, stuff like that.
And
think about whether.
can I say something before you go any further?
Yeah.
I'm in trucking, and trucking industry for U.S. and Canada, we are like the eyes and ears of the road. And I'm telling you right now that is, unfortunately, they do have a high frequency of human trafficking done by illegitimate truckers that are not truckers, right? And we are aware of that in the industry. It's one of those things, the bad apple kind of thing. But we are the eyes and ears, and we do look out for that kind of stuff, and we do witness. And if we witness, we do, get the authorities involved immediately. So truckers out there, continue to be eyes and ears of the community, and make sure that you report that if you see anything, get on a CV or even on your cell phone, and and be that eyes and ear and call 911. But sometimes what they even do is get involved and grab the person and pick them up and take them to the local police. But again, truckers are the eyes and ears in any community, whether it be America, Canada, or Barbados. They're on the roads all the time, sometimes 10 to 14 hours a day. So they see a lot, know a lot, and hear a lot. So yeah, go on, Tree.
Become a mentor to a young person or someone in need.
Yep.
Parents and caregivers learn how human traffickers often target and recruit youth. So that's a good one there. Right? If you like myself, parents and caregivers get that valuable information that you can identify and you can assist in those cases, and learn how to recognize traffickers and recruitment tactics. How to safely navigate out of a suspicious or uncomfortable situation, and how to reach out for help at any time. Faith-based communities for businesses provide jobs, internships, skills training, and other opportunities to trafficking survivors. That is a good one to get them back into society.
Yeah.
For college students, take action on campus, join an established or university club to raise awareness. For healthcare providers, learn how to identify the indicators of human trafficking and assist victims. Journalists, the media plays an enormous role in shaping perceptions and
100%.
Guiding the public conversation about human trafficking. Seek out some media best practices on how to effectively and responsibly report stories on human trafficking. And for our attorneys, offer human trafficking victim legal services, including the support for those seeking benefits of special immigration status. The resources are available for attorneys representing victims of human trafficking. So we see from our lawyers, from our journalists, for healthcare providers, students, business people, faith-based communities, youth, parents, and caregivers, becoming a mentor for some. All of us have a role and can play a role in assisting those out of the situation or assisting those in the recovery process, the trauma that they have experienced in human trafficking.
And let's put the hashtags out there. Hashtag end trafficking. Hashtag freedom first.
Freedom freedom
Yeah.
first.
Again, hashtag end trafficking.
End trafficking and
And-
hashtag freedom first.
That's right.
And let's recap the numbers again because we have like 5 minutes on our clock.
Yep. Okay, so for the U.S. is
Or-
1-888-373-7888. Again, that number is 1-888-373-7888. And again, that's the domestic trafficking hotline in the U.S., U.S. Department of State. In Canada, the Royal Mountain Police and the Canadian Human Trafficking Hotline. That is 1-833-900-1010. That is 1-833-900-1010. And of course, you can always call 211 or 911 for any kind of help. Remember, being a witness is more than anything you can do. Don't get involved if you see you putting your life at risk or the person at risk. You know, assess the situation and do what's safe, whatever is safe. But again, make that call. Go on.
Yep, and here in Barbados, it's Sex Crimes and Human Trafficking Unit of the Barbados Police Service. It's 430-7332 or 7333, 430-7332 or 733. You have the crisis hotline, which is 435-8282, 435-8282, or 287-9344, or you can email at sexcrimesandtrafficking. That's sex, SEXCRIMESANDTRAFFICKING rbps.gov.bb.
And those numbers also go for the person that's being trafficked as well. You can call those numbers and get help. Reach out for someone. You go to the grocery store, reach out, ask for help, but be very subtle. Protect yourself at all times. Try to be as safe as you can. And again, get involved with your local police and local organizations to help bring an end to human trafficking. If for them it is a monetary business, but we are putting back the word humanity in human trafficking and trying to bring this to an end. So we're going to close off the show now, but we thank you so much for coming and joining us again. We have a little bit of a little new thing we're going to do at the end of the show. I hope it works out, Teresa.
Yes.
You're depending on Hillary to be the technician person. Oh my gosh. This one hand thing is not working out for me, but whatever. Anyhow, so we will with you next week. We have a really great show coming up in December. We really are excited about this. Winter from 90 Day Fiance and Family Chantel will be on the show. It's going to be a great show about exercising. Oh, here we go. Nicole saying goodnight before we said this was great to know. Have a good night. Thank you so much, Nicole, for always supporting us. Again, we will have Winter on the show. We are very excited about having her here. She's been through a long journey when it comes to weight loss and also building that self-esteem, and we can't wait to hear the exciting things she has to share with us. Again, and we have some other great shows coming out. We have our lubrication show. Okay, excited about that one in December. And then we have some other shows. We're going to talk about some Black girl excellence because we are two Black women and we are very motivated. We're still having that cause that we're working on. We really want to have a Black women's movement in regards to helping someone go back to school. And that is a cause that we're going to really drive on. As I said last week, is that Black women are intersectional and uniquely so. And so we want to see if we can come together and at least get one person back to school and help that one person who has been through domestic violence and just trying to make things work and trying to get back out there. But financial is the issue, and we want to put our feet behind there, our hands behind there, and support that sister. Okay. So anyways, we thank you for always supporting us. Remember to subscribe. I'm always blocking it. Subscribe,
comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, comment and like, and tell us what you want to hear on the show. Baby Eiffel said, good show on awareness of this problem. Thank you so much for that. And
Thank you.
Rudy is trying to talk to the ladies in the chat. Yeah, they always a good bunch. They always support us. Rudy, Baby Eiffel, and Nicole, they always support us here on Hot Tea with Pleasure. So Teresa, it was nice talking to you again. Thank you for putting up with me this week. and and we will see you next week. Do you remember what our show is next week, Tari?
Not offhand. Off my
I always
head.
get her. She likes it.
What is it, Hillary?
I have to look at my calendar.
Next week.
We went through doing a whole calendar and everything. So next week we will have Let's Talk. Let's talk about sex. We're going to talk about some sex next week and see where we land on that. We try to keep it as G-rated as possible. Hey Rudy, you gonna be here for that one? He's talking to the ladies. Anyways, Teresa, I will see you. Ciao, ciao for now.
Bye-bye. Thanks
Bye.
for watching.